A very pleasant good morning to all the participants of this webinar. On behalf of the principal and the Department of Commerce, Queen Mary's College, Chennai, I am very happy to welcome you all for this webinar on GST. GST, or Goods and Services Tax, has become a part and parcel of our everyday life. Whenever we go to a shop to make a purchase, we might have received the bill. And on receiving the bill, we will see the total amount. And after that amount, there will be something printed on the bill is GST, CGST with different percentages like 5%, 12%, 18%. But many of you may not be knowing what it is, how it is calculated, why the different rates of percentages, and so on and so forth. This webinar is intended to give you a clear picture of GST. Our resource person today is CA Dr. Gopal Krishna Raju. I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir, for accepting our invitation to talk on GST. CA Dr. Gopal Krishna Raju is a practicing chartered accountant, registered insolvency professional, and a registered valuer from Chennai, and a partner of Messrs. K. Gopal Rao and Co. Chartered Accountants. He hails from a family of chartered accountants. His father, mother, younger brother, and wife all are practicing chartered accountants. He has been a member of the Southern India Regional Council, SIRC, of the Institute of Chartered Accountants from 2010 to 2019. He was recently awarded the honorary doctorate in governance of GST in government sector by St. Mother Teresa University, Melbourne. Dr. GKR, as he is popularly known, has several other qualifications to his credit, some of them being a twin PG diploma in operations research and financial management, a MPhil degree, and 8 certifications from National Stock Exchange. He has also authored 2 books, Standard Costing Variance Analysis and First Lessons in Information Technology. He has also been nominated as member of Board of Studies of various autonomous colleges and has also appeared in numerous TV channels and FM radios. As a versatile speaker, Dr. GKR has addressed more than 400 meetings on GST so far. We are very fortunate to have him here today, and I once again welcome you all to this webinar. Now I'll give you a brief what will be the timings. First, sir's session will go on from 11 to 11:50, and after that, the participants are free to ask your questions. Please type it in the chat box, and Usha madam, she will consolidate the questions and put forward the questions to the resource person, and the resource person will answer your questions. Thank you. I now hand over the session to Dr. GKR. Thank you, sir.
Very good morning, friends. And at the outset, let me thank Dr. Asha Nagesh, HOD and convener, PG Department of Commerce, Queen Mary's College Autonomous, Chennai 4, and also coordinator Dr. D. Usharani, and principal in charge Dr. Varalakshmi Anandakumar, all from Queen Mary's College, and more than 190 participants are here, and majority of them are students of Queen Mary's College. So very warm good morning to one and all. And apart from that, we also have on board today online, many faculty members also have joined online. So my good morning and wishes to each and every one of you who are now online. Today's topic is going to be very interesting and very different, and I'll make it this subject, even though it is a 3-year-old subject, as of 1st July 2020, we are 3 years old with respect to, so it's a 3-year baby, and this baby is not now crawling, it's now walking and very strong now. Despite all very challenging environment which we have seen in the past 3 years, GST made simple for graduates. So I understand there are many would-be graduates and also qualified graduates as part of this 200 plus audience. So with your permission, I'll now share the screen and share my presentation to each and every one of you. Good. Good. So let me now take this session. Yeah. First, let me make one point very clear to each and every one of you. Very, very important point. The point is, we are in a scenario today where what is relevant for the current generation, especially those who are on the brim of qualifying yourself as a graduate and also becoming a postgraduate from the industry, especially post COVID-19 pandemic, industry is going to see the skill set only from the qualified graduates or even would-be graduates. And I want to make one point, very important mention about here is, there are multinational companies across the globe and even Indian companies today, they keep aside the qualification only as one parallel vertical. It is not a primary, what you call as an entry ticket, but they only keep your qualification as one vertical and they assess you based on your skills. I repeat, based on your skills. And being a commerce graduate, the acumen and skill in taxation, especially on indirect taxes and a subject like goods and service tax, is one of the very, very important skill, because today every transaction, whether it is purchase, sale, even amalgamation of companies, demerger of companies, whatever you call it as, exports, imports, you name the transaction today, the impact of GST is there. And right from accounting, taking input credit, everywhere the need for, you can't say that I'm not comfortable with accounting in GST. So the first point which I want to drive to all of you is, there is a need for skill set in graduates. That is what the corporates see from the college graduates, especially in 2020 onwards. And I want to just share with you one report of the LinkedIn. I repeat, this is a LinkedIn report, Future of Skills report. Just download it. It actually hardly some 15 or 20 pages report only. I'll only highlight few of those reports, especially the technology is one particular skill, and I'll focus on the goods and service tax related technology skills, which that is required for graduates for you to actually be a very good, what do you call it, as a resource person as far as corporates is concerned. And I will say these are the 5 most important skills, hard skills. There are soft skills are also there, but these are all the hard skills companies need most in 2019. And I'll also show, my next slide is about 2020. The first one is cloud computing. Second is artificial intelligence. Third is analytical reasoning. Fourth is actually people management. And of course, fifth is with respect to technology aspect. If you look at these 4, cloud computing is first. And in 2020, please look at this. This is the 2020 skills companies need most in 2020. And these are the top 5 soft skills and top 10 hard skills. And especially, please look at the top 10 hard skills, right hand side. Cloud computing, which was the first rank, now it has come to the second rank, and blockchain has come. Analytical reasoning is 2, artificial intelligence is 3, business analysis is 6, and of course, all other skill set are there. And I will say, as far as the graduates are concerned, cloud computing, analytical reasoning, artificial intelligence, and business analysis, these are all the hard skills that is required. And I'll try to connect in today's session with respect to goods and service tax, with respect to all these hard skills. And of course, these 5 soft skills also will add more value, like creativity, very, very important, creativity, persuasion. And I'll keep these 2 also side by, which will actually add as a catalyst to this hard skills. So one by one, let me take you through. If you want to excel in a career in tax, what are all the skill set that is required, especially in goods and service tax? And I'll try to give a lot of examples from the goods and service tax one by one, and I'll try to connect to your subject with respect to the skills need for you to achieve yourself greater, to achieve greater heights in a career in taxation. So the first one, I will make this point very clear, guys. The first one, and I'll take one example for each and every skill set, especially in e-waybill. I'm going to take one very important example. Good. When you work in tax, guys, you need to explain the complex regulation, and especially with your friends, in your colleagues, in your company, in a very simple, what do you call it, as technical way, you have to actually communicate. So speaking about a technical subject, that too with very hard section numbers, may not actually make you very popular among the company or among the corporate colleagues. Clear, written, verbal communication is absolute must. And I'll just share with you one example for each and every one. Now, if goods in organizations, especially manufacturing or trading or whatever it is, so movement of goods is very fundamental. I'll say fundamental. And movement of goods, I'll make this point very clear, guys, very clear. E-waybill, electronic waybill, is one of a very important chapter in goods and service tax. And it is 100% technology. It is 100% technology. And what is the fundamental? If you have a goods, you have to move. You have made a sale. I repeat, you have made a sale. You have to move from your point to your maybe a customer's point. I repeat, from your point to your customer's point. There will be challenges for you to understand. For example, the customer is in next street. The customer is in next area. The customer is in next city. The customer is in next state. Okay, so just because the customer is in next, next street, can you say that only invoice is sufficient? I will move the goods from one street to another street without an e-waybill. Now, this is where we need clarity on the law. What do you call it as the communication? So, if you have to be very good in the communication, the first most important aspect is you have to be very good in the law. And goods and service tax, I'll give the answers also. In goods and service tax, 4 things are very important for you to know. Number one is called business. You have to know very clearly how the business is done. Very important. That is number 1. So I'll give you the 4 rules, 4 steps in mastering GST. Step 1, understand business well. Second is accounts. Okay. And third is the law, GST law. And the 4th one is the technology. These are the 4 ones. Please note it down, guys, in a paper and pen. The 4 things which is very important to master GST is, number 1, you have to master business. No, I will only learn GST. I will manage business. No. For example, if you are in a jewelry business, 4 lakhs worth of jewels, you can even put it in pocket and you can walk. Do you need an invoice? Do you need an e-waybill? Similarly, 4 lakhs worth of goods, if it is a trading, for example, cloth, if it is a stainless steel, okay, if it is an electronic item, so if it is some durable goods, 4 lakhs worth of goods will be very big, so very bulky. So then, only if it is bulky, I need a e-waybill. If it is not bulky, I don't need an e-waybill. So this is where you need to be very clear with, where the e-waybill rules makes it very clear that if you are making an intra-state sale, what do you mean by intra-state sale? The sale within the state. Interstate sale, between or across 2 states, So there they make it very clear. If it is going across 2 states, I repeat, below 50,000, no need for an e-waybill. Above 50,000, you need to have an e-waybill. So how? You need to understand law. Second, not only understanding law. Now, for example, intrastate, within the state, Tamil Nadu government, they have put one more rule. It's called the state rules, where they say if it is above 1 lakh only, you need to have what do you call this e-waybill. Now you have a very interesting scenario here. Above 50,000, but below 1 lakh, if it is intrastate, do we need to create an e-waybill? So that is where the policy of the company will come into play. Policy of the company will come into play where they will say, yes, as a policy, whether it is below 50 or above 50 or below 1 lakh or above 1 lakh, if it is a sale bill, there should be an e-way bill. And the only criteria is if it is a very mundane movement of goods, which is below 1,000 rupees or below 10,000 rupees, they can have a criteria. So policy, they can have it. So these are all, if it is a product, even if it is a scrap, for example, scrap can be even for 10,000 rupees, I repeat, but it will be bulky. And scrap has to be charged the GST at 12%, whether it is metal scrap or bottle scrap, what do you call it as the wooden scrap, metal scrap, or even what you call the glass scrap, whatever it is, and even electronic scraps. Scraps are at 12% GST. And today, e-way bill, you need not even carry in paper form. That entire e-way bill as well as the invoice, both can be converted into an RFID tag, and that tag can be pasted. That can be pasted in the truck, and the officers can actually scan it. To that extent, the law has been inbuilt with this. So, to that extent, your communication, your understanding, your language, your understanding of the law, converting into communication, everything matters a lot. Everything matters a lot. So this is the first thing about. So it is not only understanding the law, it is also communicating in a very simple terms to your colleagues, to your customers, to your suppliers. That matters a lot. Very important in GST. The second most important thing is the supremacy in numeracy. I repeat, supremacy in numeracy. You need not be a math Greek. You need not be a genius in mathematics. But you need to be very, very, what do you call it as working knowledge in numbers. And goods and service tax is fully about numbers. Why? Because if it is a local sale, I repeat, guys, if it is a local sale, what do you call it as an intrastate sale? If it is an intrastate sale, I repeat, you need to actually add the central GST as well as the state GST. And both will be 50-50%. If it is an 18%, CGST 9 and central GST 9%. So there, of course, these calculations will be done by the, what do you call it as the softwares or accounting softwares or invoice softwares. But what is most important is the control totals, the total purchase controls, sales controls, inventory controls. All these you must have a grip so that even, for example, if you feed wrong data in the system, you will get the wrong output. So you can't actually take a stand stating that it is computer generated output. So therefore, I will 100% have belief or confidence in it. It is not so. So therefore, your logic in the subject is the first. Let me give you some example. Input tax credit. Very, very important point with respect to having the comfort or Tamil சொல்லுவோம் ஆளுமை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். So you need to have that command in the subject. Then only that comfort or your arithmetical skills will give you the command in understanding the subject like input tax credit. Now this is a very, very important concept in GST because the entire goods and service tax revolves around only this particular aspect. So especially as I am a buyer when a supplier is supplying goods to me, he will actually charge GST to me. So that GST I will take credit, and when I supply, when I outward supply, when I make a sale, when I collect the GST, the output GST, whatever the paid GST, whatever I made, I can offset. What do you call it as? I can offset it. When you offset it, there are arithmetic play involved in it. It is not the entire tax you can actually offset it. On the tax, CGST and your state GST will be there. So CGST you can offset with CGST. State GST you can offset with state GST. If it is an interstate purchase, you would have paid what do you call it as IGST, integrated GST. That integrated GST you can offset with CGST as well as with state GST. Now, how do you give priority? So then how do you actually account that? So your input tax credit ledger in your books of accounts will be actually 3. What do you call it as state input tax credit? Okay, state input tax credit, central input tax credit, integrated input tax credit. Apart from this, you will also have central output tax debitor, state output tax debitor, and integrated output tax debit. So now you have 6 accounts. Now how do you offset these 6 accounts? Your liability, your debit, you have to offset with your credit. So the rule, now you have to go into the law to understand the rule. So you need to understand business, you need to understand the accounting, then you have to understand the law, to then actually you have to offset. So therefore, the numeracy, the command in the numeracy is very, 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 very important. So number one skill is communication for people to understand, to make others to understand the complexity in the law, to communicate in a simple terms. Second, the complications in the law with respect to the calculations. With respect to the calculation, you should be in a comfort position for you to understand. So you need to have the supremacy in the numerical calculation so that you will be proper in understanding that law and also putting it in part of your accounting, and then properly offsetting as per the recommendation or as per the prescriptions of the law. Good. Now the third important skill set which is required for a tax manager or for a tax assistant or for a tax associate is time management. Very, very important, guys. Very important. To be successful, you need to prioritize tasks, meet deadlines, and take personal responsibility for a professional workload. Especially in GST, innumerable timelines are there, especially payment of tax. Very important. Payment of tax, you need to pay current month. For example, June month, you have to pay the taxes in July. So there is a time that is given. And after payment of tax, you have to file your returns. So now before payment of tax, you have to have a cutoff date with respect to your transactions, consolidate, find out what is your debit, what is your credit. So what you call it as a credit balances, what is your debit balance? Debit balance is your liability, credit balances is what the taxes you have paid, and then how much you have to offset. All this you have to do it. So you need to have a time limit with respect to. So you can't say last month accounting still I have not done, I will do it. Now today's date is almost 8th of July. So 8th of July, if you do the accounting, when you will actually know the total debit, when you will know the total credit, when you will pay the taxes, when you will file your returns. So this is very, very important. So in goods and service tax, they actually, I'll give you an example with respect to job work also. So in job work, especially, what is job work? Materials will be given by the principal. The work alone will be done. For example, printing is actually a job work, where paper I will supply, ink I will supply. What should be printed, that material also, that content also I will supply with the layout, design, everything I will supply. So the printer will only take the material or the input, the whatever the products I have supplied, the material, input material I have supplied, use that, print it, and then supply to them. So for that, he will actually charge. That job work charges will be subject to GST. I repeat, the job work charges. And the material what I have received, I have to return it back as a job worker. So material what I received, there will be a movement of material. There is no GST for it. Again, the processed material will go back. After print out, the material will go back. For that material also, there is no GST because material belongs to him. But the job work charges will be subject to GST. And there is a time limit for it. What they say, the input should come back within 1 year. And if it's a capital goods, if it is sent for repair work, it should come back within 3 years. So I'm just giving you the time in various aspects. One, payment of taxes and filing of return, and with respect to your job work. All these aspects, just I've given you 1 or 2 examples from GST where time management has to be. So reading in college or studying in college, okay, all these things is very, it will be fun. It will also be very interesting to actually know this. But when you sit before, or when you sit as an accountant, when you sit as a manager, when you sit as a taxation manager and try to actually prioritize tasks, that is the time you need to actually have. Maybe you need to have a whiteboard, or you need to actually put all the dates properly. I need to plan it appropriately. Otherwise, the finger will be pointed at you. Okay, you are the guy who was. That is why, please look, take personal responsibility for the professional workload. Very important. So what do you call it as to-do list? That's very, very important, especially in GST, because since it is a lot of timeline deadlines are there, better to have a diary, and in that diary have the to-do list. Very important. Put the to-do list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And very important, what I will tell you is, don't prepare the to-do list today morning for today's work. Prepare the to-do list yesterday night itself before going to bed, and then prepare the to-do list, and then aram se go to bed. Wow, tomorrow I'm going to do 6 site activities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Task. Please look at this. Prioritize the task, and that also make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order, so that you are within that particular timeline. Very good, guys. So that is the third point which I want to share with all of you. Now the fourth point, commercial awareness. This is the 4 points what I gave in GST. One is know your business. Second, be good in accounts. Third, your command in law. And fourth, you must be as adequate knowledge in technology. So business, accounts, law, technology. And the first thing that comes is called business. An organization want their employees to be honestly enthusiastic about their jobs. And for example, you are very good in say trading. So trading business, you have some good knowledge. So commercial awareness shows you are interested in your industry, and you'll be able to keep up with changes as you work. For example, maybe you would have worked in some trading companies, or you would have worked in some manufacturing companies. Now, I put you in a company called as a gold jewelry industry. I repeat, in gold jewelry industry. And gold jewelry is a very unique industry, for your information, because there will be 2 types of customers they will come. One, they will walk in, they will buy the gold, and you know what is the GST for the gold? It is 3% GST. So unlike you go to a restaurant, it is 5% GST. And maybe if you go to a textile store, it is 5% GST. For certain textiles, above 1,000 rupees, it is 12% GST. So maybe if you go to a stainless steel item which you want to buy, there are 5% and there are 12% for stainless steel, depending upon the application. And maybe if you go to a entertainment, you go to today now after March 25th or 27th, all the cinema halls are shut down. And now if you go to maybe after it is open, or previously if you have gone, the below 100 rupees ticket, it is at actually the ticket is at 12%, 12%, and above 100 rupee ticket, it is at 18% GST. So now, please look at this, the kind at which commerce has actually paved a way for the multiplicity of laws, the multiplicity of rates, especially with respect to application. And that is why in GST, there's a very interesting, especially in jewelry industry, there will be another type of customers who will actually walk in. He will come with an exchange of good. Old jewelry he will give, and new jewelry he will buy. Now, old jewelry will be sold at, I repeat, old jewelry will be sold at, I repeat, old jewelry will be sold at say 1.5 lakhs. A new jewelry he will buy at 2 lakhs. So difference only 50,000 he has to pay. Now on 50,000 will it be 3%, or the jewelry what he buys is 2 lakhs. On 2 lakhs it will be 3%. For that, commercial awareness should be there. That exchange of jewelry is a different transaction, and 2 lakhs is a different transaction. And when you buy jewelry from the customers, will you collect the customer will collect GST from the gold jeweler? Not necessary. Why? Because the definition of supply makes it very clear. There should be a business. I repeat, there should be a business done by the respective customer. So the customer doesn't do business. It is his personal jewelry. So therefore, it is not subject to GST whenever the old jewelry is sold. So therefore, commercial awareness is very, very important. I repeat, commercial awareness is very, very important, especially the respective business knowledge. Respective business knowledge is important for you to appreciate more about GST. Shipping industry is very, very unique. For a telecom industry, you mean to say telecom industry there is no GST? It is there. For every call you make, there is a amount that is deducted from your prepaid expenses, or postpaid means they debit your account. Every call there is a GST. Bank, you mean to say bank they don't charge GST? They charge. Interest alone they don't charge GST. But for every cash withdrawal, whenever they charge 20 rupees, on 20 rupees, 18% GST they charge. What is 18% GST? It is 3 rupees 60 paisa. So 20 is not debited, it is 23.6 is debited. So commercial awareness is very important for banks, financial institutions. GST is applicable. The biggest contributor to government in terms of GST is the banks and financial institutions. There is a dialogue in Anniyan. அஞ்சு பைசாவா திருடினா தப்பா இல்ல அப்படின்ட்டு தினமும் அஞ்சு பைசாவா 5000 பேர்கிட்ட திருடினா தப்பு மாதிரி இருக்கு. So the banks are like that. They actually collect small bit, 3 rupees 60 paisa, 1 rupee 80 paisa, like that. They actually collect. I don't say they loot, they actually collect. So they actually collect this money, accumulate it, and that money is huge. And the banks, the GST payment is so much, and you can actually vouch that majority of the contribution comes only from the financial sector, service sector. Service sector contributes more to GST instead of compared to the the manufacturing sector. So both have to actually supplement each other. So therefore commercial awareness is very, very important. So we have a very, very little time, guys. Another 20 more minutes is there, and I'll try to complete the other pointers also. Problem solving skills, very, very important skills, guys. Every day in GST you will come across issues. For example, there will be an extension of date. There will be actually reduction in rates. There will be actually relaxation. I repeat, relaxation in payment of tax. They'll actually relax with respect to payment of late fee. They will say, no late fee, you can actually pay. They will actually relax that time, but time would have come short. Now, last few days will be there, whether they've extended or not. So every day updation in GST is something phenomenal. And I'll give you a very interesting example. Accounts and records under GST. Very important point. This problem solving skills. Every day you come across unique scenarios. You know how these scenarios can be handled only if you keep your records up to date. And I'll tell you guys, all the accounting, I will say the students who are the future accountants, future manager accounts. For you have a very, very bright future. Why I'm saying, if you are very thorough in the accounts and records chapter under GST, and you are up to date, real time, what you call this, today is 8th July, you have your records up to date up to 7th of July, I will say any kind of scenario you can actually handle. And very important, I'll just share with you 1 or 2 interesting examples. For example, under accounts and records, there is a very beautiful concept they have brought it. That is called the transporters. And in our country, there are 4 people who are actually responsible for movement of goods. Who are they? The warehouse owner and operator, the godown owner and operator, warehouse owner and operator, cold storage owner and operator, and transporter. These are the 4 guys who are very, very important for movement of goods. And these 4 guys, whether they get registered in GST or not, they have to enroll in GST mandatorily. They can't say, no, I will go, I will actually move out of this network of GST. No, it is not at all possible. They have to come within. That is why there is a concept for enrollment, ENR. There's a form number called ENR. So GST space ENR 01 form number. Please look at this. And that ENR form number is very, very important, because without that e-way bill, whether without a GST registration, no transporter can be part of the e-way bill network. So therefore, even if you are not a registered person, you have to get enrollment under GST, and that particular provision has been very, very clearly explained in accounts and records under GST, which is very important. And the government, that is the GST department, they have powers to actually walk in to any of these 4. That is the godown owner and operator, the warehouse owner and operator, cold storage owner and operator, and transporter. Any of this, walk in and ask for their accounts and records, and then find out who is the consignor, who is the consignee, what is the total amount of consignment, and when you have taken the delivery, when you have given the delivery. All details they have to provide. So therefore, they can't say, no, I am not covered under GST. My GST, it is actually covered under reverse charge mechanism. So reverse charge mechanism only applicable. I will not register. They can't take escape at all. They are coming within the network. So indirectly, what you call it as involuntarily, they have been brought within the network of GST. Very, very interesting. So therefore, for every kind of business situation, scenario, you have solution in GST, and they have thought about it. Of course, it is actually evolving, and if you find any such scenario which is totally new, the government is actually open to actually hear you, and they try to upgrade. So, and especially youngsters, what I'm addressing here, all the young, the professionals, young graduates, you have a great future provided you have that command in accounts, a command in the GST law. The future is going to be very bright for you. Good. And most important point, guys, we have the next 15 minutes, and I will try to actually share with you the most interesting aspect. The next another 2 to 3 points I want to share with you. Attention to detail. I repeat, guys, attention to detail. It means paying attention to every word. I'll just share with you one very interesting example. GST registration online. Now, what is GST registration online? This is actually called as the first step to GST. What is first step to GST? Anybody who starts a business, I am a startup. What should I do? I have an Aadhaar. Aadhaar is 12-digit number. I have a PAN. PAN is a 10-digit number. Then you have to get a GST number. Now, GST number is how many digit number? 15-digit number. And 15-digit number is based on PAN. PAN is 10-digit. And your GST number, the first 2 digit will be numeric, which will be called the state code. Tamil Nadu state code is 33. So 33. After that, your GST number will come. If you are a sole proprietor, if you are an individual, your individual PAN number 33. After that, your individual PAN number will come. So 2 plus 10, 12 digit. The last 3 digit will be the number of registrations you take. If you take only one registration for maybe you are doing business only in one state, you don't move to another state, because for every state you need to make a registration. So there are farm numbers, and all these farm numbers are online. What you have to do is, if you have to understand the first step in GST, just download GST REG01 form. That's all. GST REG01, first form. Just download it. It will be in PDF form. Go to Google, download it, see the entire content, try to fill it up. And I will say, and many of you, you will have the PAN number with you. You try to register GST registration for you. And once you try to actually fill those details, maybe you can fill those details offline and try to actually understand what each of the line they actually give it to you. That is what is called attention to detail. So it will not come by reading. It will not come by hours of reading. Just download only one form, GST01 form, download it, take a pen, try to fill up your detail itself, your PAN number, your detail, father's name, what is your address, your phone number, your email ID. And in GST, registration is not possible without these 3. What is it? Without PAN, without mobile number, without GST number. You are not considered human being at all then in GST. So you will understand a lot of details when you fill up that one form. That one form is sufficient for you to understand. My goodness. You know how many forms are there in REG alone? In REG alone, there are 27 forms. My God. So, registration forms alone, 27 forms are there. I'm just asking you to fill up only the form number 1. So, don't think that this form is so much big and the subject is so big. Very, very simple. You fill up form number 1 alone, then all forms we can understand, because there will be only slight difference in each and every form. For example, you are a non-resident. There is a separate form for them. You are actually supplier of online information database access and retrieval. For example, you are going to do e-commerce activities of services. There is a separate registration for them. So you need to actually understand the details. Then things will be very, very simple. So it is not reading the subject and answering the question paper. Take only one REG01. You are going to actually master GST. So because that much of clarity you will get in GST registration online. You need not even go online. So offline you download it and try. That is a very, very interesting tip for you. Next, another interesting point I want to share with you is your organization, where you are going to work. Okay, you'll be facing definitely complex tasks, and that is going to be challenging for you every day. And that is why they always prefer candidates with skills. Okay, what are the other skills that you have? Okay, you are a BCom graduate, you are an MCom graduate. Okay, very good. Now, what are the skills that you have? You have to say, I'm very good in spreadsheet. I'm very good in Microsoft Excel. Spreadsheet calculations, I'm very good. I'm very good in MS Excel. I'm very good in an accounting package. I'm very good in cloud computing. I'm very good in cloud accounting softwares. So like that, you have to actually have the comfort and the command in one or two. That will actually give comfort to work in a complex task organization. You need to be able to break them down into sections so that you can tackle methodologically, because the problems what you get, the task what you get will be complex, and with a very open mind, you should be able to actually break down those complex tasks into small. Maybe many things you can do, or you can actually delegate to somebody, and part of it you can delegate it and get it work done and then assemble it back. So I'll just give you an example. Please look at this. This is a special digital course in goods and service tax, which is a 20-hour program focused only for students, where all the topics are covered. Like this, so many courses are there. And I'll just tell you one more very important thing, guys. One more very important thing, that please go to Swayam. I repeat, guys, please go to swayam.com. Swayam is one particular site, and this is Ministry of Human Resource and Development. I repeat, Ministry of Human Resource and Development. They are actually coming out with what do you call it, certificate courses. It is a 1 week certificate course, 1 month certificate course, 3 month certificate course, 4 month certificate course are there. And this is one such certificate course, which is a digital course, very similar to Swayam, and this is done by Fiki. And maybe you can also find out from these gentlemen what is who should attend and what are the topics they cover, right from basics of GST, levy of tax and supply, place of supply, value and time of supply, registration, composition levy, input tax credit, block credit, invoice, debit notes, credit note, everything. It is covered in 20 hours. And every college, you must actually focus on the skill-based courses. And I'm sure all the colleges are actually offering you skill-based courses. Nevertheless, there are courses which is offered by the swayam.com, which is the website of Ministry of HRD. And I must tell you guys, certificate course in GST are offered. And when you actually go through that, and it is 100% digital, and those courses, many of the colleges, they even give credit. If you complete that, in your degree, in your post-graduation, you have an indirect tax paper. So they give credit. And there are 1,600 courses in that. Almost, I will say, 40 lakh students have enrolled, 40 lakh participants have actually enrolled in that 1,600 courses. And I must actually place on record, many have actually qualified. And both students, teachers, professionals, everybody, they actually joined this particular course. Now, why? To face the complexity in the corporates. To face the complexity in corporates, continuous learning. That is the only solution. No. I have actually, in my college, I have GST in my syllabus. What I have read is sufficient. No, it is not sufficient. The subject is ever changing. 3 years back, we are now in 2020. 3 years back, I repeat, 3 years back, on 1st of July 2017, when GST was introduced, at that time, what is the approach to learning GST? What is the curriculum in GST? What was actually the contents in that particular subject? There was no circular, there was no notification, nothing. So only at the end of June 2017, they issued some left and right, they issued some 12 to 15 notifications. That was the first time they issued. So after that, one by one, and within 1 year, 900 notifications they issued. Within 1 year, 900 notifications. It's very, very big. So today the subject is growing like anything, and unless and otherwise you are continuously learning, you will actually get an edge over. You can actually get an edge over your other colleagues, and you will be most preferred. I will tell you guys, you will be the most preferred employee. You will be the most preferred person in your organization, because you will be the guy who can actually understand any complex scenarios, any kind of situation that comes across, and you can break it down and you can solve it. That problem solving skills will come only when you are updated. I repeat, when you are updated. So don't leave this chance. Try to update and upskill yourself. We have now come to 11:45, and I must place on record the. I'll stop sharing this. I must actually place on record. Almost 300 plus participants are online now. So all credit goes to Dr. Asha Nagesh and Dr. B. Usha Rani for the wonderful arrangements and for bringing all of us together. And this particular video, this particular session is fully recorded and it will be available in this particular platform. Even after this session also it will be available. So please share this with your friends also. And most important, you have a subscribe button down below this. Please click the subscribe button. There is no charge for it. So that in future, when we do more programs along with your college, you will be actually intimated. You will be actually intimated. So therefore, thank you very much, Madam Dr. Usha Rani and Dr. Asha Nagesh and the entire team of Queen Mary's College. I must place on record and I must appreciate Queen Mary's College, Autonomous College for arranging this kind of program during this COVID-19 pandemic in keeping your entire learned youngsters keeping abreast with the developments. So thank you very much. I'm open for any questions. So over to Madam Asha Nagesh and Dr. Usha.
Thank you, sir. Any questions you can ask students?
Or madam, you can take lead in asking one or two questions so that people can supplement.
Any questions you can ask students?
Or madam, you can take lead in asking one or two questions so that people can supplement.
Any questions you can ask students?
Or madam, you can take lead in asking one or two questions so that people can supplement.
Any questions you can ask students?
Or madam, you can take lead in asking one or two questions so that people can supplement.
Is any PG degree to know detailed about taxation?
Oh wow! So Lavanya Bhaskar is asking one question: whether there is any PG degree, yes. Oh wow! So, Lavanya Bhaskar is asking one question: whether there is any PG degree, yes. Oh wow! Madam, I'll request you to kindly switch off your YouTube video. Kindly switch off your YouTube video. Yes. Oh, madam, I'll request you to kindly switch off your YouTube video. Kindly switch off your YouTube video. Yes. Oh, madam, I'll request you to kindly switch off your YouTube. Sir, okay, right. So thank you very much. There is a question by Lavanya Bhaskar. Whether there is any PG degree to know detail about taxation? Yes, lot of courses are there. Kindly visit what do you call it as the swayam.com. There you have levels. For example, you are an entry level student to know about GST. You have a certificate course. If you are an advanced learner, you have an advanced certificate course in GST. So please select based on that. So there they will say you must have qualified a degree and you must have already done some understanding about or some subject about GST. So then you can go for an advanced course. Please go to Swayam. There you have courses on both advanced as well as on the fundamental also. And second, I showed you one slide where FICCI is doing a program on 20-hour certificate course. which is a special digital course, evening 6 to 8 program. That program also you can do. It's an all India program. So maximum they are going to enroll only 150 or 200 only. So try to enroll in that program also. It is a advanced program only for PG level people only. So that is another one. So then we have any other questions? So what are the job opportunities for the students who specialize in GST area? Lot of. Justin Rayappa, Dr. Justin Rayappa from Loyola College has put a very, very important question. So thank you very much, Dr. Justin, for because Dr. Rayappa is a very popular name, and recent Vijay film also, Vijay had this particular name. So thank you very much, Dr. Justin. Number one, what is the list of opportunities you can have? First one is those graduates and postgraduates who have a knowledge in GST, they will command more respect and more popularity with respect to placed as an accountant. Because today, to be placed as an accountant or manager accounts, you need to actually have a very good command in GST. So that is number one job opportunity. So number two, there are cloud computing. Almost whether it is a small and medium enterprises or large enterprises, every company, they are now maturing or going to the bigger orbit called as a cloud accounting. And in cloud accounting, there are advantage one, advantage two. Number one, it is real-time accounting. So as and when the transaction happens, the accounting will happen. Second, the compliances with respect to GST can be done on time. So you don't need to duplicate data. So today, how compliances is done? Take the data from the accounting softwares, take the printout, and then collate it using some spreadsheet or some other tool, and then again re-enter the data in the softwares and then upload it. So it actually redundancy of work. So all this is reduced. So therefore, knowledge in GST will actually add as a catalyst in all these kind of environment, whether it is a service industry, manufacturing industry, in all industries. So that's about. So thank you very much, Dr. Justin. Ruby has asked one question. Kindly explain one GST sum, for example. Please ask a question, so I'll definitely explain. Is it possible petrol will come under GST? Very, very difficult, because the maximum rate is 40% in GST, 20% for CGST, 20% for SGST. And today you are paying for petrol 68% minimum, 68% minimum to 70, 69% or 70% you are paying. That is the range at which you are paying. 58% to 68%, 69% you are paying taxes. So therefore, if this is brought down to GST, government will actually be losing minimum 20% revenues on petrol. Number one, petrol prices will come down. But number two, lot of subsidies based on this taxes only has been given. Agriculture related, education related, infrastructure related. So therefore, government will have be handicapped with thousands of crores and lakhs of crores with respect to various initiatives of Government of India. So therefore, definitely petrol will not come under GST. That's my humble understanding. And please give me the Ministry of HRA certificate course website address. The website address is swayam.com. I'll just make this once again very clear. Swayam, SWAYAM, swayam.gov.in. I repeat, guys, swayam.gov.in. So that is the site, swayam.gov.in. Please go now itself and then see. And Mr. Janardhan says, I am a student of Sacred Art College. Now I saw your meeting. It's only for students. And so, yeah. Any other question? So I think we are done. Madam, I think the questions are over.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can proceed with the water.
Okay. Water. With immense pleasure, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks. At the outset, I, on behalf of Queen Mary's College Department of Commerce, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our resource person, CA Dr. Gopalakrishna Raju, for his excellent and wonderful lecture. Sir, we are really enlightened with your knowledge, simplicity, and clarity in your lecture. I thank you once again, sir, for your immediate acceptance of our invitation in spite of your busy schedule. I also extend my sincere thanks to our principal in charge, Madam Dr. Varalakshmi, for her enormous cooperation and enthusiastic support in the college for the webinars. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our beloved HOD, Dr. Asha Nagesh, for her perfect logistics support and guidance she has extended to all of us during any period. A special thanks to our department colleagues, both Shift 1 and Shift 2, for active participation. Last but not the least, our heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their active participation in the webinar. I once again thank all of you. Thank you. So in the
Thank
chat
you.
box, we will give you the feedback form link. If you fill the feedback form link, you will be receiving the certificate in your email. Thank you, sir.
So there were one or two questions. Can you please answer them, sir?
Yes, madam. எங்க மேடம் இருக்கு?
The chat box la vandha, sir. Can I become a GST?
அதான் அது முன்னாடி வந்தது. Kannabira, yes. How a student can become certified GST practitioner? Very good. So actually, there is a GST practitioner exam is there. I repeat, GST practitioner exam. This GST practitioner exam is only applicable for those who are not graduate or MCOM graduates. I repeat, graduate, MCOM graduate. Those who are not graduate or MCOM graduate, for example, they have only +2 qualification. They don't have +2 qualification, but they have experience, like working with GST practitioners or sales tax practitioners, income tax practitioners. For them, their experience is their asset. For them to prove that they have knowledge in GST, they have to write this examination, because out of their experience only, they are able to actually know the subject. So for that only GST practitioner exam has been brought out. So there is a criteria they have mentioned. For those who are graduates and those who are postgraduates, there is no need to write examination. There is a form number. I repeat, there is a form number, online form number. The name of the form number I will just give you. The form number for GST practitioner. GST practitioner form. It is called PCT2 PCT4. So GST practitioner, person desirous of becoming GST practitioner has to submit an application in form number GST PCT01. The form number is called PCT01. It's an online form. So if you are a graduate or a postgraduate, fill that form, apply, pay the respective fees. You are a GST practitioner. Straight away you can put a board and you can file the forms, and filing of forms itself is going to give a lot of revenue. This is number one. Number two, not only filing and maintaining the records and maintenance of accounts. That also is going to become a very good opportunity for GST practitioners. These two is going to be a good opportunities for GST practitioners. But another question, if anything is there. So Guru Santoshini, I want to know about GST practitioner exam. If you are a graduate or a postgraduate, you need not write about GST practitioner exam. But if you are not a graduate, okay, if you are not a graduate, you are only doing graduation, or you are qualified, you are +2, you are having some experience in GST by working in some offices, then how do you call yourself a GST practitioner? Can you fill up the GST PCT1 form? No. You can fill that form, upload it, get the GST practitioner certificate, which will be a temporary registration. And then you have to write an examination within 1 year from the date you register as a GST practitioner. But those who are graduates and postgraduates, directly register, get the registration number. It is not temporary, it is a permanent number. But those who are non-graduates, you have to register After that, within 1 year, to write the GST practitioner examination. Generally, GST practitioner examination is an online examination. Recently, December month, they had that examination yearly once. Only once it happens. You can write that examination and then get that certificate. But post-pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, I don't think so. This year, you will have a GST practitioner examination, which will be a what you call as physical online examination. Maybe they may change the examination to an online format. So my suggestion to you is don't wait for that examination. Complete a degree course or a post-graduation course. That itself enables you to be a GST practitioner. So therefore, just the application form uploading PCT1 form, you become a GST practitioner. Best of luck. Anything else? I think that's all, madam.
That's all.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much, sir.